Hey YouTube, what's up? I'm here in beautiful Lisbon, and today I'm gonna talk to you about my NC. So I've owned it for about a little over 6 months. I've done 15,000 kilometers with it, and you know, I'm gonna talk to you about it. You might have seen a lot of videos on YouTube doing reviews on this, and if you're like me, you watch these videos and most of them just spit out the specs and tell you how good it is. If you're like me, you want to know the bad things about this motorcycle. How does the engine hold up? How is the quality of the materials? Those are the kind of things I want to know and that I'm going to talk to you about. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, so let's have a quick glance of the specs. This is a Honda Nc750x. It's a new concept by Honda that's been produced since 2012, hence the name NC, new concept. And it's a new concept, well, because of a few things, mainly the motor. That's a low revving motor, as opposed to most motorcycles. It feels almost like a diesel motorcycle. It's fuel economy. This is a very economic bike, and it has a lot of utility, especially this front over here that we'll talk about in a minute or two. So the engine, this is a 4-stroke 2-cylinder liquid cooled 750 cylinder engine. Like I told you before, this is a low revving engine. It peaks at a little under 6,500 revs per second. It's a very economic engine. Rear tires, 160 on the rear. On the front it's 120. Disc brakes, single disc brakes on the front and on the back. ABS. Front on the front, this is like the jewel on this bike. A lot of utility. You can fit a large helmet inside. You have LED headlights. Okay, so that was a quick glance at the specs. Let's talk about the engine. So like I told you in the beginning of the video, I've owned this for like 6 months, and honestly I have nothing to say about the motor. It runs impeccably, just like the first time I rode it. Nothing to say there. 15,000 kilometers and it still rides like the first time I rode it. Fuel economy, yeah, this absolutely, that's a big marketing point Honda does on this motorcycle. It really is an economic bike. I've done like 3 liters to 100 kilometers. So this is where this bike really outshines the other competitors on the market. Fuel economy. Okay, so let's talk about the build quality on this motorcycle. There are a few things I want to point out. Let's see, let's start with the key ignition. You know, if you're like me, you carry a bunch of keys. Maybe not, but at least I do. I carry a bunch of keys: the lock key, the disc lock key, the chain key, and yeah, this is all together. And when I use all the keys together, sometimes it gets stuck on the handlebar. That's really annoying. I would like to have this spaced farther apart from the handlebar so the keys wouldn't get stuck. But yeah, that's really annoying. Like, this scratches the handlebar. Next up, now I have a friend that also has the same bike as me, a different color, but it's the same bike, and he has a large helmet, and he uses this front alert to store his helmet. Now he has had a few problems with these rubbers. You know, these started to peel off after like 3 months, so that's a bit concerning, I guess. Mine is still intact because I don't use this to store my helmet. I rarely do. I just keep my motorcycle cape protection, you know, the chains and the locks and whatever. It's really useful. But yeah, that's a bit strange, you know. Honda claims that the large helmet fits here, and this starts to peel off when you use it. So yeah, that's one bad thing over there. Next, there's actually a really annoying feature on this bike. I don't know if it's a feature or a bug. You can see here the indicator, 15,000 kilometers. You know, imagine you're driving I don't know, you're doing a long distance touring, and your tank goes into reserve. Now this indicator shows you has various menus. You have like the indicator for trip A, trip B, etc. And what this basically does, it saves indicators about your travel. So imagine I start in Lisbon and I want to go to Porto. I reset trip A, and that basically shows me the kilometers I've done, the average consumption. And this is where it gets strange. If your tank goes into reserve, this indicator trip A gets reset. So all the data you had from that journey, if your tank hits the reserve, all the information from trip A gets reset. And that's really annoying if you're on a long trip and you want to keep all those all that data. So that's annoying. I don't know if it's on purpose, if it's a Honda bug, but I really would like to see that fixed. Now let's talk about the wheels. I'm actually very happy with these wheels. These are stock wheels that come with every 2016 models. These are Bridgestone tires, and they're holding pretty well. You know, these are I've done 15,000 kilometers, and they're good for, I don't know, like 10,000 more. I'm very happy with them. You know, I've read all of these reviews telling that these tires were shit and that they wouldn't last 10,000 kilometers, and you know, I'm gonna do at least 25,000 kilometers with these tires. And these are the front, and at the back is the same thing, you know. I still have a lot of usage on these tires, so that's good. One thing that I wouldn't say that I don't like, but that I would definitely like an improvement, is the front brakes. The front brakes, the single brake works well, I guess, but it really feels lacking sometimes. I would like to have dual front disc brakes like every other motorcycle on this range. And honestly, you know, don't get me wrong, these work perfectly fine, but sometimes you feel that you would like a little more braking power on the front. So how about the LED lights on the front? These are absolutely awesome. They work very, very well. They illuminate everything that needs to be illuminated, so no complaints there. The seat is improved on previous models. It's very cushiony. I don't know how you say it. Yeah, but it's soft, but still maintains its rigidness. Is that how you say it? It's stiffness, but it's soft. So it's, you know, I've done a 8,000 kilometer tour of France, and this seat serves perfectly for that. No complaints. I really like this seat. There's unless you have a really sensitive bottom, these you won't need to buy aftermarket seats. These are very good. Now I actually want to show you another flaw on this bike, and possibly on other bikes. I'm not sure if this is standard, but it's a problem I have with the blinkers, with the direction blinkers, change lights. I don't know how you call it. Anyway, I'll show you an example. Now, you know, you want to do a turn, you activate the left blinker, it blinks. Now if you're too fast doing this, like this, and sometimes it's necessary because you want to be quick to click the blinkers, notice what happens. Nothing happens. Look at this, it's very annoying. You know, I'm not sure this is supposed to work like this, or if this happens on other motorcycles, but this is not okay, you know. Look at this, it does nothing. Fuck. You know, you really have to hold your finger to the left or to the right for it to activate, you know. See, if you do this fast, it doesn't work. Why? Just why? Well, so that's a big flaw on the controls. Now let's talk about the fuel tank. These are a couple of points I want to make here. First of all, if you like to do some long distance touring or go camping or whatever, you want to take luggage on the back seat. Every time you want to refuel, you have to take the bag, take the straps that secure the bag, refuel it, close it, put the bag back on, strap it again. It's really annoying. Even though this is a very interesting concept, if you want to do some touring, like or adventure touring or adventure riding, like on the claims, this is a very inconvenient mechanism. You know, you have to take it off, put it back again. That's very inconvenient. You know, I would like to, I don't know, this. You know, I'm not a design expert, but you know, you could put, I don't know, the fuel entrance on the side, so you didn't have to remove this to refuel. I don't know, something. Now, another point. This is a 14-liter tank. Now that's okay. 15 liters isn't that small, but it isn't that big either. But for an adventure bike, a touring bike, you know, it makes sense that the fuel tank would be a bit larger. You know, I mean, you have space to increase the tank, I guess. So why not make it bigger? You know, because it really sucks that you go on a tour and you have to refuel every 3,000 kilometers. Even though this is a low fuel consumption bike, you still have to refuel every 300 kilometers. So it's very annoying. I would like to have a bigger fuel tank. Now, what can I say more? I don't know. How about the weight of a motorcycle? You know, even though you've certainly heard this before. Even though this is a 40 kilogram bike, this is it feels very light, and that's mainly due to the low center of gravity, particularly the way the motor is, or the engine is fitted. It's almost horizontal, so it's like this. You know, other motorcycles, in other motorcycles, the motor is typically in a V shape like this, and this one is like this. So that's a thumbs up for this motorcycle. The fact that the engine is fitted this way makes it so that it has a really low center of gravity. So how does this motorcycle stand up in off-road? You know, I'm not a very experienced off-road rider, but I've done some off-roading. You can check my other videos. I've ridden in sand, in dirt, in gravel, and it stands up pretty good. Particularly since it's a very tall bike, you know, it doesn't have problems with the bottom hitting stuff, rocks, etc. So it behaves pretty well. How about touring? It stands pretty well on solo touring. It's very comfortable. You have a very upright position, so it's a very comfortable touring machine, and its fuel economy, it's a plus compared to other bikes. You know, you really don't need a more powerful bike for touring, in my opinion, but that's just me. It's it's a very solid option for long distance touring. Now for the last part, let's talk about the exhaust. Is this enough? Is the sound enough on this exhaust? Well, that's always a controversial matter, you know. People say it is, some people say it is, some people say it isn't. You know, looks wise, it looks very good with this motorcycle. I like the feel to it, the aspect, the look of this exhaust. I like it. Now personally, I think this the sound on this exhaust is enough. You know, let's hear it a bit. Hold on. You know, it's perfectly fine. I honestly don't feel the need to buy an aftermarket exhaust. You know, people buy these very expensive exhausts because it improves slightly the performance of the bike, and it does a lot of noise. I personally don't feel the need to buy it. You know, sure, an aftermarket exhaust sounds cool, looks cooler, but you know, is it really worth paying $1,000 or euros for a new exhaust? I personally don't think it is. But that's, you know, that's a choice everyone makes. You know, it's a matter of taste, I guess. It all comes down to a matter of taste and how cool you want your motorcycle to look. This is not a bike to go racing. This is not a bike to show off. This is a bike for people who absolutely know what they want. This is a bike for touring. This is a bike for commuting. This is a bike for light off-road. What more can I say? This is an awesome bike. So yeah, guys, I think I've covered just about everything I wanted to cover. This is already starting to be a long video, so stay awesome.